Brian Benedict, Army veteran, retired firefighter, and been doing life and health insurance for over 35 years. Medicare is a crazy world. And believe it or not, there's over 65 million Americans that's on Medicare and 12,000 turning 65 every day right now. On top of that, there's no help. There's no HR after you retire. Okay, let's talk about chasing the card. So, chasing the card. What in the world does Brian mean by chasing the card? So, chasing the card. You see it on TV. You see it on social media. You see it everywhere. It's like this fishing lure that they've strung out there, and it's a card, and they're fishing for it. Okay, and they know that 90% of the people are not going to be able to qualify for that card, but you may qualify. So you call in, unknowing to you that voice signatures through call centers are a thing. Next thing you know, you wind up only having a prescription plan because that knocked out my health plan. And you may not even have health insurance. Things like that happen. It is crazy. Okay? I will say it until I keel over. Stop chasing the card. I know it's tough out there. You can't go to the dollar store without spending $50. But man, I'm telling you, most things that you see on social media, most things that you see on TV, the mailers, don't chase those food cards. They're only for very few people. Okay, so let's kind of go into a little bit of that. Where's the food cards at to begin with? So, that's a lot of a question. Where's the food cards at? Well, typically, so in Medicare Advantage, that's where the food cards are in. They're in that category. So a Medicare supplement over here, the Plan Gs, Plan Fs, but they don't come with food cards. They don't come with dental, vision, hearing, or prescriptions. So those Plan Gs, Plan Fs, Plan Ns, those are called Medigap policies because A and B, that card, there's a lot of gaps. And so the alternative that all health insurance agents can do a Medicare supplement plan, but very few can actually do a prescription plan or are certified to do a prescription plan and certified to do an Advantage plan. You have to study and take a test every year. And then when you pass that test, you got to recertify with every one of the companies that you're with. So it's pretty in-depth. That's why most agents don't do it. Where are those food cards at? Well, the Advantage plans actually have another category, okay? And the other category of Advantage plans is for those basically on about the top 4 levels of Medicaid. And so how do we know if someone's on that level of Medicaid? So it's a Medicaid, Medicare together plan. So those plans are called dual plans because they have to be on a certain level of Medicaid and they have to be on Medicare and have that red, white, and blue card. And that's what we'll check the eligibility to see if they're even eligible for that. But that's where many of the food cards are, or utility cards, or whatever they call it. It's usually an all-in-one card. The other one that you're going to see a lot of, which is unfortunate, but you're going to see a lot of, is a chronic plan. So a chronic plan actually is a special needs plan, and in my area, like in Indiana, Ohio area, the chronic plans are for those on diabetes 1 or 2, if you have heart condition, if you have cardiovascular disease. So, and there's some qualifying factors for those, but they have chronic plans, and that chronic plan will have some type of a food card a lot of times in it. The fortunate thing it's kind of a double-edged sword, but the fortunate thing with the chronic plan is that it is a special election period throughout the whole year. So if you fell into that category, you could change a plan throughout that year. But you could only have one chronic plan in the year. Why do I say don't chase the card? Well, I tell you, if you're say you retire and you're 65 and you retire and you're on a plan that someone like myself spent quite a bit of time with you to put you on the right plan. Down the road, things might get tight, and so you're going to try to go. You might call a number on TV. You might call a number from the mailer, from anywhere. Call the number on the social media post because that $50 card seems like it's worth $500. And I get it. But you got to remember, I always tell my clients that they need to call me if they're tempted to do one of these things. Call me and then just ask me about it because I can do all of it. I can do all of them. And the problem is if you enroll through these call centers, you'll never get the same guy twice. And that can be detrimental because many times they don't even know they signed up because they're doing voice signature and people have no idea they even signed up for something. They just know they talked to somebody. Next thing you know, their plan changed. And I hear all kinds of different things, but basically the bottom line is don't chase these cards because what you don't know is whether that new plan, how that affects your prescriptions. All these prescription plans are all kind of all over the place. So you need to check the prescriptions instead of just changing the plan. That's what the agent should be doing on the telephone, but they don't. Also, if they're giving you something like that card, very good chance that copays are going to be higher. So if you're used to paying a low copay to go to a specialist, you're going to be paying more money to go to a specialist. They're not. Well, think about this. I will tell you this. These insurance companies are not going to lose money. So I'm telling you this. So at the very least, ask me a question. Let me look into it for you. I'll tell you the truth. Whether you need to go to that or go to that, it's just makes no difference to me. I just want to help you get through this situation and get the wolves away. All right. Because, like I said, these cards, and then there's Giveback plans. So that's not a food card, but what is a Giveback? The word Giveback. A Giveback plan is when they give you money and they use it automatically to discount your Medicare Part B. So right now in 2026, Medicare Part B is $202.90 unless you fall in higher categories of income, which that's called IRMA, but I'm not going to get into that. But at the base level, it's $202.90 a month. So what is a Giveback? A Giveback is when you have an Advantage plan and there's a certain dollar amount, it could be different per plan, but will give you a discount off of that. Okay, it'll give so you'll actually have, say if that discount is $50, you'll actually have an extra 50 in your, you'll actually have extra $50 in your Social Security, which can be really nice. But again, look at the copays. Look at the max out-of-pocket limits. If they're giving you some of this stuff, the copays are going to be considerably higher. And then the max out-of-pocket limits. What is the max out-of-pocket limit again? Think of the bowl of chili. Think of the lid on top. That max out-of-pocket is the lid. If all your copays and co-insurance goes into that bowl of chili, if it hits the lid, you don't pay anymore. Okay? That's your safety net. There's plans out there that are, $3,900 for an out-of-pocket network or $4,000 or something. But some of these plans will go as far as, $10,000, $13,000. So it's those little things that you're going to miss, and then you're going to spend more if you're on one of these plans potentially, if you go to the doctor quite a bit, you're going to spend quite a bit of money on these doggone things. So before you chase the card, make sure you get with somebody like myself or another agent that can do what? That has that government certification, knows what they're doing with prescription plans and knows what they're doing with Advantage plans, and can guide you in the right direction. Because, like, again, 90% of the health insurance agents out there cannot do those two things because they're not certified through the government. And you have to do that every year. So make sure. And if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. You can always call me. But put some comments in the comment section. I'll be glad to help you. Again, my name is Brian Benedict. Please like, subscribe, and absolutely share this video with somebody that needs a little more clarity. Okay. Most of all, be safe out there.